We're going to start with a blank piece of paper. We need a nice sharp pencil, and of course we need our steel rule. All right. The cube measurements, when it's all said and done, should be 2 inches all the way around. Tabs we're going to make 1/2 inch. We'll explain that in a little bit. So we're going to lay that out using parallel line development. To get started, our first line, we're going to measure and mark 3 inches from this bottom edge. Before I do that though, we got to talk about how we mark metal. In drafting, in woods, in other things, a lot of times when we measure and mark, we want the mark to be as little as possible. So we would measure over and we put a teeny tiny little tick mark like that. Other places, that's okay. Sheet metal, we do it different. The metal is reflective, it's got scratches in it. If you're looking for that teeny little mark, you very well might find some other little mark, think it's your line, and everything's going to be crooked. So we want something very distinguishable. What we do is we mark arrows. The way you mark an arrow, for example, if I wanted to come over, I'm just making up numbers here, 6 inches from this edge, and remember this ruler does not start at 0. 0 is over here. So I need to overlap it so that that tick mark is on the edge of the paper. If I was going to come over 6 inches, I'm going to come over, I'm going to put my pencil at the 6, and I'm going to go up, do it again, and go the other way. I've got a nice big arrow that's easy to see, even with my ruler covering up part of it. So the first part is we mark 2 arrows. I've got to mark 2 arrows. I'm going to draw a line this way. So I'm going to come down here, and again, it doesn't matter how far we are, but the further away I am, the easier it is to be accurate. So I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. Mark my second arrow, pencil at 6, up, pencil at 6, up. Second part of the rule is scratch a line. Rule number 1 for marking metals is mark 2 arrows and scratch a line. Meaning, I take my pencil, I'm going to put it at the point of one of those, I'm going to line up this other arrow right there, and I'm going to scratch my line. I call it scratch because that's what we do with metals. When we get into the metal, we'll show you a tool called the scratch awl. It's for scratching very accurate lines. First rule again, mark 2 arrows, scratch a line. Second rule, measure twice, cut once. We're going to double check that. I'm going to set my ruler back on here this way. Make sure I'm at 0 here, 6 there. That's pretty accurate. I feel good about that. Mark 2 arrows, scratch a line, measure twice, cut once.